And I'm Cinnamon Hartwell with Integrity High Podcast.
Bringing you guys another review of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're going to get right into it because we running a little late.
Due to the Seahawks game. Go Hawks, they won.
Man, they finna go to the Super Bowl.
Woo!
You know, we the Trailblazers up here in Portland, up in Seattle. You know what I mean? That's the Seahawks, and we just represent the Pacific Northwest. So, man, we in the Super Bowl, man. Pacific Northwest representing.
That's right, the West is the best.
Absolutely. So let's get into it, shit, man.
All right, let's go.
I can tell you about Sir Duncan the Tors.
Is Hodor a descendant of Duncan the Tall?
How's Tyrell? Sir Erlen often spoke of his time in your...
I would not leave you, sir. Now will you must stop your master dying over and over again? Perhaps I should go back, sir. Check on the camp.
His brother, Mirka.
My father was Micah, the first of his name.
Getting Superman was. I'm not a stable boy, Lord. Not clever enough.
Aegon Brightflame, they call him.
Oh, knighthood has fallen on sad days.
I'm Sir Roland Craycole, and this is sworn brother Sir Donald of Duskendale.
The decision rests with the master of the games. I see no reason to deny you.
As you say, Lord.
You are Florian the Fool.
We're fools.
No men are knights.
Come
Come out. You suppose the Dragon House employs many hedge knights, sir? You, Blackfire bastards!
His name was Sir Arden of Pennytree.
4 pages for Sir Duncan.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Joe McCool with you
This is Cinnamon with an SY.
on behalf of,
Integrity High Podcast.
and we just finished up watching the show, y'all, man, and you know, and we had to go into the books to just make sure all the facts was correct because a lot of things was said and we seen a lot of things on the show, and so let's get into it. What you think?
I think it was a good episode. I appreciate most of the things that were in the book. It's just the timeline was a little off. Well, I enjoyed the way that they portrayed Sir Duncan the Tall, him getting his armor and selling Sweetfoot. You know, did nobody know who he was as a knight? So he say him getting blessed by one of the princes, the prince, so that he was able to get enlisted into the tourney. And yeah, just seeing them riding on their horses and coming through with their sigils and stuff, that's what I'm looking for. You know, the same atmosphere as like House of Dragons and Game of Thrones. What you think?
Well, I liked it, the pageantry of it. That's what I was really like. You know, one part of it was very, very, very unnecessary, man. The very beginning where they had Sir Arlen, man, taking a piss outside, man. I wish they didn't do that. We had children in the room. That was just so unexpected. So we had to cover their eyes and all that old crazy shit. So that was unnecessary to me. But other than that, you know, you suffer and all you happen to walk down memory lanes and keep remembering your Sir getting killed. It's not cool. And just the end the Targaryens pulled up. And that's what I was more on, was like the pageantry of it. That was so cool to me with the banners. They pulled up and came through. They had all the different heirs and all the powers. You know what I'm saying? That was some tight shit. I liked it that. And so we seen Maegor. We seen Baelor Breakspear. And we seen his son too, Daeron the Good. Can you see it, Jason?
Yeah.
This picture right here, that's Daeron. So right now in the book, this is who's king. Right here, he's the king. Yeah, Daeron's the king. So they mentioned him. They also mentioned the Blackfire Rebellion. That's where I had to go to the book. to make sure the timeline is right. And so this at this time right now, this is just over with. Bitter still, you know, you got Daemon Blackfire, and so when he was like, he would say, what did he say, die Blackfire bastards, or something like that. I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And so he's talking about this war. And so it really, really resonated, like really brought it home. Like, so I had to check the books, like, what is all this is going on right after the Blackfire Rebellion, the war. And so now I can kind of, so Aegon is like really, he really sparked, because this is like right after the war, and he's ready to be a knight and shit. He's just a kid. He's eager.
Right.
You want to get, yeah, that's, so it makes sense. And so we, like I said, we met Blackfire or Brightflame tonight. That was cool. He was smug, just the typical Targaryen. I mean, and Breakspear was cool because he like, Sir Duncan, man, he just trying to get in the tilt. He trying to, he trying to get on. And so he really had the nerves, though, to go into that place and jam up the hand of the king, Baelor Breakspear, to try to get into it. And so, he brought that to his attention because it looked like, from the book and from what he said, Arlen was telling him all his life how he got into it or tilted against the prince. And so when he jammed him up and brought it to his attention, man, the prince vouched for him. Really like on some reputable shit. He's like, yeah, he said, you gave him his arms back and you didn't even charge him and this and that and this and that. And it was 7 times. And then the prince was like, nah, it was 4. And Dunk not knowing, he was like, nah, it was 7. And so he hurried up and checked himself, man. And the thing about Breakspear is, and maybe that's the Martell in him that make him a little bit more humble and different from all the other ones.
Right.
You see how Brightflame is just, oh, this is how they making knighthood now? Like, he just was like, he just
bad day.
And so how Breakspear handled him as far as getting him in the tilt and whatnot, that was just cool. And then, how Aegon reacted when he was just so alive when they was in the when they was jousting. That man was like in heaven. He was a kid in the candy store. So it was just cool to see all the pageantry. That's what I be liking. That's what I'm into.
See, that's the guy that told him that you're a big guy to do the armor for. So they cast him really good. Looking like the person that they're speaking of, that they describe in the book. Even when he told Egg, if you steal my stuff, if I come back to this camp and my things are gone, I'm gonna get some dogs for you. He said, you don't got no dogs. He said, I'll go buy some. So,
and it was right out of it was just right out the book, saying the word for word for his dialogue,
Correct.
And see, like here they describe him, Breakspear. It says, few could doubt that Baelor Breakspear would be a great king, for he was the heart of chivalry and the soul of wisdom, and came to serve his father most ably at hand. But no man could know the will of the gods. Baelor Breakspear was cut down in his prime. Oh shit! that's we give it up too much information. Prince Baelor won the name Breakspear at the age of 17, following his famous victory at Princess Daenerys' wedding tourney. He defeated Daemon Blackfire in the final tilt, and his youngest son, Prince Maegor, seemed like to show a similar prowess. Yet too many men looked upon Baelor's dark hair and eyes and muttered that he was more Martell than Targaryen, even though he proved a man who could win respect with ease and was an open-handed and just as his father. Knights and lords of the Dornish March came to mistrust Aegon and Baelor as well, and began to look more and more to the old days when Dornishmen were the enemy to fight, not the rivals for the king's attention. And basically, this is just talking about them about to go to war against the Blackfires. And so the casting is pretty straight consistent. I mean, you see, Baelor breaks what you seen on TV it looks similar. I mean, it's what the description is on here. He does look more Dornish than Targaryen. He has very little white hair, and so yeah, they did a good job on the casting. Because that's how it is. They all got the same damn name. You know what I'm saying? In one form or another. You know what I
Remember
mean?
he was on Damon though because he said that he wasn't the heir.
Right.
Because
Because they all, in order to be a million Damons or Dayrons, and so you got to be which one you were saying?
Emma was having the baby at the tourney, and that was the baby that passed.
Yeah, his name was Balon.
Oh, Balon.
Balon Targaryen, named after after what's his name's father, you know. Viserys' father's name was Balon. See,
Okay.
His name was Balon. See, that's Balon Targaryen. That's his. And so, yeah, when Emma had a baby, she named the baby Balon. So, okay, yeah, you missed it by an R, you know, but they all got the same name, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's pretty good. Shit, it'd be hard to keep track of these different Rhaenys here, this Rhaenys there, the queen that never was Rhaenys, Rhaenyra, some other Rhaena.
I knew it was some heir or something.
They got about 20 Aegons that never became prince or king, but they got them, you know. So, and other stuff. What else was just neat and tight and just cool? It's just the jousting, man. That was tight. Just that egg was just so he was gone, you know. But just the way it was working, the last man standing, that should be tight, you know. And then it had all the princes up in the balcony watching,
right.
And Egg is hiding from him and shit. And then on top of that, man, the prince is hot. Like, man, you would, if it was your son, you would be like, you would care.
Almost definitely.
Because it ain't just one, it's two of them.
Right.
The drunk is missing and Egg is missing. And so the assumption is that they're together and dead, they don't know. But Egg trying to get involved.
Right.
So yeah.
That's his people. As the adrenaline was going. I like how they had you inside the tourney, so to speak, like you were looking through the knight's eyes. You know what I mean? Like through yeah, that was tight.
Yeah, it just the interaction go like with the common folks, like, cause like in Game of Thrones, even in House of Dragons, man. You don't really appreciate or understand the interactions of the common folks with the lords. It's just like always show the lords just nasty and arrogant and ruling. And so in this one, you see in more of the interactions just a normal person when he went to go buy his armor, selling his horse, and just the things the common folks do. Yeah, it's gonna really connect it to where that missing part with the common folks that you don't see with Game of Thrones and King's Landing and House of Dragons, you get to understand all that stuff that's going on still in this universe. You get to see more of the common folks and how they is connected to the rich people. And it looked like, real quick, how you rise up, right? Is if you're a hedge knight, you get in the list and get lucky, man, and then you can get hired by a big family and become something, you know what I'm saying, a steward or something, and you just lucky.
Well, that's his dream. That's why he brought it to Egg's attention that the knights, the king knights, were crabmen, right? Mm-hmm. Like if they can do it, then I can rise up like that. You know what I'm saying? And that, like you speaking of that, it shows you. I was just thinking about that, like even him standing there with his, banged up sigil and. You know what I'm saying? Tattered clothes. He's talking to the king's knights. You know what I mean? The king's knights.
He was talking to the hand of the king.
Right, but just think of how they were dressed compared to him. Even like the horses. They're how how it goes. Their horses had like the blinders. The fancy stuff, right? Even the dude that's doing the armor. He's like, I got some steel for you. I ain't got no gold with no designs. I ain't got no silver for you, but I got some steel that's gonna keep you safe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they coming in, they all cloaked white, head to toe.
Because you see, they was tight. And you see that they outfits cost the armor a lot. So they flexing when they come out. And you see how Lionel Baratheon, when they was, because when the dude ate the fish, but Lionel, the Laughter Storm had the big, he had the horse look like this.
Yeah, antlers. Yeah. I've
And
never
that's
seen
tight,
a
you
tourney
see what I'm
at night
saying?
that is hecka tight. Like you said, the last man standing.
See, look,
And so it's on and cracking.
all the princesses up there. See what I'm saying? That shit
As
is tight,
usual.
man.
As
See
usual.
what I mean? There you go, Aerion
Yes.
Brightflame. Look, he trying to hide.
He till they can see him. He gonna be like, put me down.
And see, all them is the small folks. Here, that give them the opportunity to be close to power, you know?
Ashford, where it's being held at.
Right.
That's
Well,
the
that's
castle they were at. And such, too.
see them horns.
See, I love the visuals as well.
Yeah. And see, that's the heir. That's the son of Breakspear. See, and he know.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you see, he got black hair too. See,
You see them dragons coming through. It's going down one way or another.
and it's the graphic novel. He got in the graphic novels, he got black hair and white hair mixed. It's like, I think it was cool, man. We have fun. I think just watching the show, enjoying the show. We doing this because we fanatics about Game of Thrones. We love it, and it's just a good thing. But we also doing this because we're trying to create something for our future. So future McCools can like look at this 150 years from now, 100 years from now, and say, hey man, my grandfather and my grandmother, my great or great great grandparents, man, they was cool. You know, they was quirky, nerdy, you know what I mean? They was all right. And so that's what we're creating this for. So future McCools can survive, compete, and defend themselves. So this ain't about views. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
But I mean that's
our legacy.
because like what I realized, like, because I did a lot of time in jail. I did 23 years, and this is what the world has created. And it's a beautiful thing. And this, what Jay-Z say, you forever young. Yeah, this is how you be forever young. And they didn't make it to where you can put different stuff on the internet, and when you're passed away, dead and gone, it still live, and they can see you and know what you said, know what you was thinking, get an idea of your mind, your philosophy, and different things like that. And so with House of McCool Creations and Holding LLC, it's all about legacy. That's what we're about, creating a legacy. So 100 years from now, 50 years from now, future McCools can survive, compete, and defend themselves. And so they'll be able to look back at our footage, our artwork, because to us, this is art. This is like arts and crafts. We're able to put together some things in our minds and make it manifest into reality. And that's a beautiful thing. And so they will be able to look at our artwork, our footage, our videos 100 years, 50 years from now and say, okay, that's what they was thinking. Oh, that's how they was feeling. Oh, I see where they're coming from now. They can take the torch and carry the flag over across the finish line. And so we're just leaving our footprints through this. This ain't about views. It's about when we're dead, our philosophy lives, see? And that's what this is about. Our legacy. House of McCool Creations and Holdings, LLC. Paradox Media Group. Delvin Hart Logistics, LLC. That's our legacy, and that's what's going to live. I mean, what you think?
No, I feel you. We share the same legacy because we have children and we have grandchildren and hopefully great grandchildren and the whole nine, all the things, wonderful things he said.
Yeah, they're going to be able to look back on it and be like, man, my grandparents was all right, or my great grandparents, or my great great great. And oh, they were thinking that way, and now we celebrate, man. Seahawks won today, going to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
We watching House of, not House of Dragon, excuse me.
A night of the seven kingdoms.
We got our feet up, we free, we got all our rights, we vote.
And it is for our future. That's important to us, is the future, right? We're building something for our future when we're not here or while we still here or whatever the case may be.
8,056 views. Integrity High Podcast, bringing you this review. We had to watch it again. It was just so many gems and jewel stones in there. We had to check it out again. So and bring y'all. And also Cinnamon was, going through the book. She seen some inconsistencies she felt. So she's been reading the book, kind of just going through the book, going through the show. And
Yes, I have been going through the book and trying to see just where it matches up in the show. And there is consistencies, yet they're not the timelines in the book. So, which is understandable. I'm just trying to figure out like where we're going as we read and as I watch the show, like which direction are they going in? Like they show you all the people, the attorney, all those different things. Yeah, just like him selling the horse. That was kind of brief. I was looking forward to seeing him sell Sweetfoot and like biting the coin and seeing the coins with the dragon heads. And
what did they say? What did they say in the book that you found different in the show?
First seen Sweetfoot, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is a good horse." And then once Duncan, they had to bargain, and Duncan wanted he wanted thousands of dollars for Sweetfoot, and the gentleman wanted to give him like 700. And so I think they like they came to agreement at like 500. And so he said the same thing, like here's some money for her oats and give her an apple, which that was consistent. I love that because that's what his servant would do is feed her apples and such. But it was just like, I want to see the interaction with him and the gentleman. He's want to buy his armor and things of that nature. So I was just kind of looking for that part of it.
And then what was it saying about Brightflame and stuff?
It didn't explain. It just said that he had a white streak, dark hair with a white streak, and that was about all the description it was.
They showed him in the show with all dark hair, right? In the graphic novel, they show him he's got black hair and white hair. It's half and half, and in here it just said he has a hot streak, or what did it say?
It said light streak.
A light streak, gotcha.
So you don't know if it's a blonde streak or is it a white streak. You would only know if you knew.
Again, we watched it again after watching it the first time because it just had so many gems and it was just so many different Easter eggs we didn't get to go over. And they was quoting different names and different things like that. And so, even in the show, they wasn't necessarily telling you who Lord Tarly was, or they didn't tell you the different Lannisters that was in the, what was that called? The jousting, Last Man Standing?
Yes.
Yeah, and so they didn't really, describe it. And so she took a look at it, and what you come up with?
I came up with that they had all kind of different tyrannies, and that was the last one, the Last Man Standing, which you kind of spoke on that. Like, this looks like the Last Man Standing. The difference between that tyranny, though, it was at night, and they had to, like, pick the different people they wanted to joust with, right? They come tapping on your sigil, and then it's like, what's happening? You want to get out here and fight, or whatever the case may be. Also, I noticed that they don't have the violet eyes, and I know you can't just do everything like I said in the book, but that would be neat if at least like Egg had supposed to have violet eyes. All the Targaryens mostly in there is supposed to have white hair with violet eyes. I know they didn't do that in House of Dragons as well, but I was kind of looking forward to that too.
And it's just a whole bunch of little timeline things she was describing with what's her name, Tinsy?
That's what I mean. He had in the book he had already sold Sweetfoot and then went to her with the coins. Like, where did he get the money to buy his armor and such? Because in the book he got the money beforehand after he sold Sweetfoot, and then went to get the armor, and then went to go pay her for his sigil and things of that nature. Because he's not a man of high born, so it's like, where are you getting all this coin from?
Egg. He always leaving when the Targaryens come. And just here go an example of it right here, y'all, real quick.
Perhaps I should go back, sir. Check on the camp. Make sure the thieves have been nosing about.
Rob me, I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have dogs!
I'll get some.
Where?
As soon as he seen those banners come through, he like, oh, I was saying how he didn't want to go back to camp. He was kind of resistant about going to camp until he seen the banners, and then it was like, would you like for me to go back to camp? You know what I'm saying? With a sword and some mace, because he was nervous about who might walk up on him and such, or recognize him.
And it's just crazy how Dunk cannot see, like, him acting strange when these people coming along. Was Maegor's name pronounced wrong by this person?
And his brother. Here, Tom.
Because this is Aemon Targaryen's brother, and we gonna see a young Aemon in this show. because these is all his brothers. He's older than Egg. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we're gonna see Aemon, a young Aemon. And y'all remember Aemon was telling Sam the story about the girl that had almost won his affections and whatnot? We may see that in the show. Ooh. There's a good chance we do. Because Aemon was around at this time. These are his brothers, and so maybe we might see it.
Yep.
That's Aerion Brightflame. What did you read about him, by the way?
Well, that all of that is in the book. It says everything he said. It would say, just like he thought he was a hand that would take care of the horses, and then he just kind of dismissed him because he thought he was just a common person, common people. You heard him say, "Then that it's a sad day for knights."
And just the way his body expressions was is hilarious, man. The tilt. What happened when he got into the tilt?
And they say when his father is around, then he shows out. And so his father, since his father was in the chair, at the tourney, then he was showing out, and he cheated. I think it was Humphrey. He cheated, and he stuck him. He stuck his horse. He killed his horse. And Egg was like, he did that on purpose. Him and Dunk. Dunk was kind of like, I'm not sure. And Egg was like, no, he did that on purpose. He reminds me of a Joffrey, to be honest. I'm not sure what's gonna come next week, but I'm sure it's gonna show that he's somewhat of a tyrant.
Well, Joffrey looks up to him. Because when Joffrey was showing Marjorie the dead Targaryens, guess who he mentioned? Him. He mentioned him. Aerion Brightflame. He told him how he died. See, he was talking about Marjorie there.
Yeah, that's his mentor. So I could see that.
Picking up some different characters in this segment that's gonna come up right now. Let's check it out, y'all. This is the part we're talking about where they mention a couple different names that we're gonna highlight. Right here in this clip here. Let's check it out, y'all.
Aegon belongs on a turf field, no more than Daenerys or
Oh, there it is. The Hand of the King badge right there, man. That joint is tight. From Ned's.
From any other hand.
Yeah, I ain't never seen a hand badge like that.
That's tight.
That is tight. Like he had mentioned a couple different names, right? Rhaegar and Aerys. And nah, he ain't talking about the Mad King, y'all. He's talking about the first Aerys that eventually became king. Tapped in with this lineage, Aerys, not the Mad King, but this is the first Aerys that they just mentioned in King's names, just in, breezy. And then you got Rhaegar Targaryen. So you got Rhaegar, you got Aerys Targaryen, just a couple mentioned of some royal people. Aemon, that I'm assuming we're gonna see him at some point, a young Aemon. That's gonna be cool. What you come up with?
I was just saying that all of what they're saying in here is all the quotes and such are consistent with the show. So that's a good thing. Just saying the different lords, and he's looking for his sons, and Dunk coming in there just bursting in on them in their conversations and such.
And I like how Baelor is just real even-handed, just real cool, real fair person. From the Targaryen line, you was expecting him to just like double cross him or probably hang him or something. But he really tried to help that person. It is probably deeper than that because of his Dornish heritage and the stigma around Targaryens that don't have white hair. And plus, he's named after Baelor the Blessed, which is another king, but he was actually a king, a religious king. Here you go, Baelor the Blessed, right there. He's legendary, though. The set that Cersei blew up, that's named after him. He's named after Baelor the Blessed, the religious Targaryen. And so that might be part of the reason why he's so upright, so honest, so, fair. Because he's named after a king that was religious and fair and was loved by the common folks. And maybe that, and then just him being a Targaryen that don't have black hair.
Right. That part. And also I think just by Duncan knowing, he knew he was telling the truth once he said that was the test. When he said, who is the great lion? Once he knew that who he was talking about. I like that he knows his facts, like Sam and Littlefinger. He'll give you some history in a heartbeat.
But look at how we met Aerion Brightflame, and just how he act. That's how Targaryens act, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see the difference with the heir and this particular person, because Targaryens can be some men, and so he's just his temperament is just spot on. He was the guy that was meant to be king, and that's why when he received the compliment, he was like, "Hold it, man, we don't plan to be king for a long time coming," or whatever he said, because he was looking at his brother, you know.
Right, right.
And so yeah, but I just like his demeanor. Yeah, I mean, what you think?
I just think the Targaryens, they know they're different. They have the dragon blood in them, the ones with white hair, so they can be a little more arrogant and more smug, as he said. You know, like Daenerys wasn't like that, but her brother was.
Mm-hmm. No, Daenerys was like that
in some aspects, but she was for the people. She
was
wasn't
for
just
the
treating
people.
people like crap. You know what I'm saying?
But she could be a certain way though.
Yes, but not like you know what I mean? How her brother was.
Not like him.
Not like him or Aerion.
See, this the consistency though. That's how Targaryens act, like her brother and like Brightflame. That's
Like
how they be acting.
Damien, I'm the shit. Yeah, but he still didn't take no medicine.
No, he didn't take none at all, because for one, he had a whole dragon. Two, he had a dark sister. Three, he could fight. I burn you.
He paid his dues, yeah.
I burn you. And then that man went to the war on the Stepstone. So he had everything. Whereas Viserys, her, you know what I'm saying? He don't deserve that. He ain't got that coming.
Right.
And Brightflame, I mean, they don't have dragons at this time now.
No, but they know they name carry weight.
It's
like how a Lannister would be. You know, like they can be smug and such too, because they know they got the coin. A Lannister will always pay his debt, so it don't even Tyrion. He the little half man. It doesn't even matter. He know he can pay his debt if it came to it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of little gems in there. Like, let's go to this clip real quick, y'all, because it's just some cool stuff, man. Before we go to get to the jousting and different things like that, we're gonna stop here because there's a couple things we want to touch on with the love story. Let's check it out.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Sweet lady, all men are fools, and all men are nice. We're women of Could you paint something for me?
All men are fools, all men are nice.
What you think?
So as you can see, Tanzo did make his sigil just as they asked. Got the shooting star and such. And so you can tell the chemistry between both of them, right? They're both nervous, and ever since he's seen her from the first puppeteer when she was explaining the dragon story, you've seen how he looks at her, because when he went to go talk to the housemaids, I think they were, or the whores, when he went to find the Mr. Plumber so he can be listed. He wasn't nervous like that around them. He just spoke to them. He was even asking them, "Are you trying to be rude to me? You know what I mean? Are you making fun of me?" With her, he's bumbling and fumbling around. And so, I think it's cute.
The puppet girl. Just didn't feel well handled.
She is making a shield.
Oh.
What?
He said they was both gigantic. That's what he's saying. And that's the commonality that they got in each other, because she's taller than the average woman. Okay.
That was the revelation right there. Man, I'm glad you figured.
I wasn't sure what was being said.
Yeah, you're both gigantic.
Right. And that's the case. So he like, what does that mean? That's the commonality.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he wanted to take her out to sausage. I told you, out sausage or have ale. He was trying to ask her out for a date. He didn't know how to ask her for a date.
Sure, why not?
Now you gotta understand, he don't have no money. He's common. He's a hedge nut. And so go ahead, tell him, how is he? I don't get it. How is he?
Right. Well, he gonna owe him too. On here, he owes him.
Okay.
He tell him that the squire is gonna bring back the money if he wins the thing, and if he wins the tourney. And that's why he said, "Oh, these people are just here to cheer you on." Like, wait a minute, what's going on? So yeah, but he sells the horse after years.
George R. Martin, man, they back up to their old antics, man.
Perhaps I could trade you some armor made for a smaller man.
half helm, a male halberd. Stealing pays. Sells only his own work. You need to be a champion here. Do you know? And the others all came just to cheat.
And this is what you're talking about.
It's so sweet, but
I'll come back and buy you again. Promise.
Now there you have it, right? But the whole point is, how is he doing all this buying and stuff? You know, he got to sell the horse before he be buying all this stuff, right? Ain't that how the book described it?
the book did describe that. Also, that's the irony of it. Like, dude had gypped him. He had gave him a wooden nickel and all this stuff. So I thought that would definitely make the show. And then by him selling Sweetfoot, see, Joe, I had to point out to Joe, the horses was his friend, and so that's who he would talk to. You can hear the horse talking to him right as he's selling her. She's still talking to him, right? Because before A came along, them was the only people, well, the only thing that he would correspond with. And so that's hard for him to even sell her because that's like his friend. That's why he said, I'm gonna come back and buy you back, you know.
He feel guilty.
Heck up.
He feels sick. He like, man, he's selling his best friend.
Man.
He one of them Game of Thrones inconsistencies right there. All right, yeah, this is the part I'm talking about. I just like this part when y'all check Aegon out real quick, man.
Perhaps even House Targaryen.
Do you suppose the Dragon House employs many headhunters, sir?
See, and that just go to show, like, well done. Al Dunk ain't really picking up what this man is putting down, you know? Like, who you to think you gonna be working for House Targaryen, not knowing it's happening right there at the table.
Right. You can see it anytime the Targaryen's name is mentioned. You see, he kind of set up straight. He's looking like, wait a minute, what?
That man got so serious, but he's saying how Duncan can't be employed by a Targaryen, like the Dragon House, like he's not one.
Right.
Not understanding right then it's happening. That Duncan is gonna be work for him. How you mean he can't work for the Targaryens? He's gonna work for you.
Right.
They're gonna rise together. So it just goes to show, and that's why that's that irony at the table where he's telling them how he can't work for the Targaryens. That's like the, you know what I'm saying? That's like the Super Bowl. It's like the Seahawks, you know? That's like the Seahawks. Oh, look at the princes. Big Bailey. Oh, Brightflame. Oh, you don't know what he's saying. Wait, did they say Lord Charlie's name in there? Did they just say Lord Charlie, or they get his whole name?
I don't think they got his whole name. I want to say it just said Lord Charlie.
Okay. That we just seen the Laughing Knight. We know who that is. What's Hightower? Did they give us his whole name?
It did give us his whole name.
Abelar Hightower.
Hey, who's that?
Prince Vhagar, Maegor's son. Second in line to the throne.
He's the favorite, I'd wager.
I'll take that bet, sir.
Like, was that consistent with what's in the book right there?
So I believe, yes, Vhagar is right. Knocked up on Valar, and the younger Ashford was called out. Valar Targaryen, the young prince horse was black as night to match the color of his armor, lance and shield, and trappings.
Lord Ashford blocks his sheep!
In the book, what it talk about, far as the Grey Line, a couple different Lannisters being in the tourney that night.
Sir Tybolt Lannister was unhorsed by Sir John Penrose and broke his sword in his fall, but fought back with the shield alone to win the bout and remain a champion.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he came back on him.
Yeah, the book just the consistency in the book and the consistency in the show. We just kind of wanted to walk you guys through it and just show it is pretty much consistent. The only major flaw was the fact that Duncan is buying stuff before he sells his horse. He got to sell the horse to get money to be able to give away coin and different things like that. So. At this time, they like kind of fresh out of the war. The war with the Blackfire Rebellion had kind of happened. Maybe what? Not that they just coming out of it. And so yeah, he's still affected by it. He still is drunk off of glory.
The nostalgia of it.
Yeah, the Targaryens just came out of a war and they beat back the bastards, the Blackfire bastards, and so that's why he's so enthused. He like really feeling it. His dad had went to war, and his uncle Baylor Breakspear, and they got some of their legend from that war, the Blackfire Rebellion, and so yeah, it was cool just to see him how he was just so enthused and different things like that. So yeah. I mean, I think we covered about everything, man. We really did, I think.
I just can't wait till next week. I want to see how much more that we'll see of Aerion, even though I know he's going to be a tyrant, and Duncan and his reaction. So is it going to be a love story? How is this going to turn out?
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for him.
Me too. I can't wait till next week. So until then, Paradox Media Group
and Integrity High Podcast. We out.
Next week.
Good night.